Kareem got this question on the plane on Friday, but a number of advocates for voting rights and other issues down there have said the president should not come down unless he has a plan to actually pass voting rights legislation. What is the president's plan to pass that, or is he going down there without a plan?
Well, his plan is to sign voting rights legislation into law. That requires a majority of senators to support it, even if there are changes to the Senate rules, which is something the president has expressed an openness to. But let me give you a little bit of a preview of what people can expect to hear from him tomorrow. I would just note that the backdrop of where he's going is vitally important here as we were planning the trip. It's in a place with profound civil rights history, the Atlanta University Center Consortium on the grounds of Clark Atlanta University and Morehouse College in Atlanta. The president will forcefully advocate for protecting the most bedrock American rights, the right to vote and have your voice counted in a free, fair, and secure election that is not tainted by partisan manipulation. He'll make clear in the former district of the late Congressman John Lewis that the only way to do that are for the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. He will follow his remarks from last week on the anniversary of January 6th, where he did touch on voting rights and that fundamental importance of protecting that right, when an unprecedented insurrection sought to violently overturn the outcome of what the Trump administration's top election security officials confirmed was the most secure election in history, by saying that he will stand in the breach and keep fighting for the soul of America. And he'll also describe this as one of the rare moments in a country's history when time stops and the essential is immediately ripped away from the trivial, and that we have to ensure January 6th doesn't mark the end of democracy, but the beginning of a renaissance for our democracy, where we stand up for the right to vote and have that vote counted fairly, not undermined by partisans afraid of who you voted for or try to reverse an outcome. I would also note one other piece I think you will hear more from him on tomorrow is he's quite focused on how ensuring the American people understand what is at stake here. Sometimes we all shorthand legislation or shorthand what we're talking about, and protecting the fundamental right to vote means he's going to also talk about what the changes have meant in states like Georgia across the country, what is at stake for voters in Georgia and other states across the country, and why this is so imperative it move forward.
And lastly, Senator Schumer set a deadline of a week from now for the Senate to pass this legislation or change Senate rules. The president optimistic that could happen on that time frame, or does he think that is maybe too ambitious?
Well, he's going to continue to work in lockstep with Leader Schumer on moving this vote forward. But beyond that, we're taking it day by day to press for the vote to happen and to be successful. Go ahead.
Just following up on some of those questions. So on Atlanta, will Stacey Abrams be joining the president during any of these remarks?
Andre, I know we'll have a list. There will be a number of elected officials joining us, traveling, and also there. I think we're still finalizing that list, and we will venture to get you that as soon as possible.
Okay.